Hello there. I don't think it is a secret that we are living through some pretty fascinating times when it comes to the economy and investing and just, well, money management all round. And if you're like me, it can all be a little bit overwhelming and sometimes confusing, especially if you want to invest. Well, luckily today, I am joined by an expert, CEO of Sunwest Bank, Hovde. Good to see you, sir. We're at your 13th annual Economic Forum conference here. So let's dive into this. We know that consumer spending keeps going up. So what are some of the indicators that there might actually be an economic slowdown for 2023, 2024?
Look, I think we've gone through a fundamental shift because we're experiencing inflation for the first time in 40 years. Unfortunately, our federal government printed too much money. As long as the employment market continues to remain pretty strong, that will help the consumer. But the problem is we're spending way too much money at the federal government standpoint. And until we start correcting that, we're really not going to get at the heart of inflation. Real estate, we're already seeing the impact there in housing, as well as commercial property values are starting to decline. I would love to be more optimistic, but I think we're in difficult times right now. And I think it's going to play out over the next year or 2 years.
What are some of the sectors you think are going to be hardest hit?
Something like trucking and transportation is starting to really decelerate. Manufacturing starting to really slow down. A housing market, obviously, the housing market has come to just a standstill with the big rise in mortgage rates. Think of it, a year ago today, you could have gotten a mortgage at less than 3%. Today, the cost of your mortgage is 7.25%. So it's more than a doubling. The auto sector will start being hit because the cost of financing an auto. Any kind of major purchase that requires financing is going to be affected by the higher interest rates. So you have a lot of indicators showing that we're really starting to slow down and unfortunately may probably be in a recession next year.
And what does this all mean for me filling up my car with gas, me buying groceries? I mean, I'm getting tired, as is everyone, of these prices keep going up and up and up.
Well, that is the fundamental problem. And that's what inflation does, because it starts squeezing out what you can spend on because you're having to spend so much money on core essentials like food, like gasoline. And unfortunately, until we change our energy policies, I don't think we're going to see a big change in the price of gas and oil. So unfortunately, until we crack inflation and start changing some of our economic policies, then I think we're going to be stuck in this difficult time frame for some time to come. Look, it's really important for people to be careful with how they're investing money today. A lot of investments over the last couple years were really bad investments. People were buying stocks not based upon how much money they made or the cash flows or the strength of the balance sheet of those companies. They were just chasing returns. And unfortunately, a lot of those stocks that people were buying, largely in the technology space, have really caused significant losses. So it's really time for people to be focused on getting a return of their capital, protecting their principal, instead of trying to chase big returns. The other thing is keep your debt levels low because the cost of debt is going up. So it's the good old-fashioned advice, be conservative with your economic resources.
Interesting. Hovde, you are the expert. Thank you for this. I think it's really important to note that, you know, we've still got to have some hope in all of this, don't we?
Absolutely, absolutely. Fortunately, the United States is better positioned than Europe and most of the world. And I always believe in the American entrepreneurialism that will get us out of most problems.
Well, thank you for taking the time to chat with me, Eric.
Real pleasure.
More information can be found at sunwestbank.com. That's going to do it for this local spotlight. Until next time, be nice to one another. We'll see you soon.